Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host here on the show today. And today I have Mike Jones, CEO and Managing Partner of ReSound, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges that he's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome to the show, Mike. So great to have you here. Thanks for being on it.
Thanks for having me, Kay. This is great.
Well, before we get into all things business, I'd love to share with the audience a little bit about you. So take us back as far as you'd like and share a bit about yourself.
Sure. Creative at heart. That's kind of how I got into business was as a professional creative. I was doing graphic design, been doing that my entire career, and always had the itch to start my own business doing that. Started very early, freelancing on the side while I worked for other agencies. I worked for a media company doing graphic design for them, and on the side, I would pick up clients doing, I would do anything. I do business cards. I did wedding invitations, which learned very quickly I should not be doing. That is not my, I am not cut out for the pace of weddings. Um, but I would just do anything and everything. And I realized in hindsight, I'd already started my company Resound by the time I came to this realization. But looking back, I was like, oh, I kind of have entrepreneurship or at least business ownership, if you want to call it that, in my blood. My grandfather started his own construction business in Florida back in the 1950s, ran that for decades there, was fairly successful. My dad moved out to Arizona from Florida in the 1970s, and through a course of just life and different decisions, ended up starting his own janitorial service, cleaning office buildings. So I grew up working for him doing that. So two very different businesses between my grandfather and my dad. And so I guess I had to start my own business, I guess. It was just fated to be, following in the footsteps. And of course, I couldn't inherit a business because that would be too easy. I had to just start my own. So I did. And in 2009, I actually joined up with two other friends of mine who were creatives. And we joined forces and we created ReSound in 2009, and we've been doing it ever since. It has taken on different forms. Our work together looks very different than it did back then, and our company is very different from a team standpoint. We've got full team of 15 people now, rather than just me and my two buddies plugging away nights and weekends while we still work full-time jobs trying to figure out how to run a business, which we had almost zero idea what we were doing. So. We've come a long way in 17 years. But yeah, I love the intersection of creativity, of business, strategy. We kind of that's how our business formed. That's my role in the business now is really just lead our company, create the vision for where we need to go in the next 10 years, and then put the right people in place that we can execute that with as a whole team. It's really fun. I don't do any of the stuff I used to do. Like, I don't open up any Adobe products anymore and play around with designs. And we've got much better people on my team at those things. And I really just focus on the business now and building relationships. I do some speaking and things like this, which is really fun. But that's kind of the short version of a much, much longer story. If we had more time, it'd be fun. But we don't need to spend the whole time talking about that.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing a bit about yourself and your business. And it's so funny. I'm like, we have some crossover because I'm a graphic designer by trade.
Okay.
Well, and I know what you mean by wedding invites. Learned the hard way there.
Yeah, yeah. There are designers out there who absolutely should be doing weddings and
Mhm.
they love it and their clients love them. And I think I did two or three wedding invitation designs and then all the other kind of things that came out of that to kind of style and theme the whole wedding and figured out really quickly like I like working with businesses.
Yeah.
I would much prefer that, some brides and grooms are great to work with, and sometimes their mothers-in-law are fine too, but sometimes it's hard. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this for the next 20 years of my life or even the next 1 year of my life. So started shifting a lot more towards businesses and understanding how can I apply creativity to business.
Mm.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. I still, 17 years later after starting our company was like, this is this is what I love doing. I love helping companies tell their story, and that's what we do in a nutshell.
Well, that's very exciting, and I'm excited to kind of geek out as a graphic designer with you too, and seeing some of those parallels already. And so, okay, so you said you have a team of was it 17 plus
We have
you and partners?
15, and that includes myself and I have another business partner who's day to day in the business with me. His name's Sam.
Okay.
So I kind of lead from like that visionary standpoint, vision, and then I do a lot of the business development and sales. That's still a big part of my role. We found, I mean, just talk about business lessons, right? From business owners for a service-based business where so much of our business is based on relationship. We found early on, like the owners of the business, however many there are, one, two, or five, have the best opportunity to be the face and the relationship builders of the business. When other business owners or other business leaders that we work with want to connect with us, they want to connect with someone like them at their same kind of level, and they're look at us like peers. We tried, I think maybe it was 8, 10 years ago, we tried to bring in some young talent, particularly one guy who came in to help do sales and gave him a long runway, we gave him a lot of trajectory, and he did a great job. He did what he was supposed to do. And I remember we ran an outbound email campaign. We had a list of potential clients to get in front of, and he wanted to test it. He was like, I want to send half of them with my name on it from my email address, and I want to send half from your email address and see what the response rate looks like. And mine had like way better response rate than his. And I think it all just came down to job title. And so, if I've got CEO on my name and I'm an owner, people just connect differently. I think there's a way to scale beyond that, for sure. But we just have found, like, as an agency doing marketing for businesses where it's a very high touch service.
Mhm.
It's not cut and dry. We do a lot of very boutique relationship driven work, um, that it really helps to have owners in the front kind of front seats, that people are meeting us, within the first conversation or two, and that we're really the face of the company. And then, they need to meet everybody else. They need to get comfortable with the rest of the team and understand the value that the whole team provides.
Mhm.
Because when they hire us, they're not hiring me, they're hiring our whole team. And that's really critical. But I think up front, still, we're seeing that, at least at our size, that I need to be in that role. And I love it. I enjoy it. Obviously I can jump on a podcast and talk. So that fits me pretty well.
We've got the gift of gab, they call it, which is
Yeah, it's a
that plus
curse
that
too.
I know. I'm right there with you. But that's really cool that you're the face of the company as well. And if that's working. And now when would you say you pass that baton? Like, do you pass
Yeah.
it to like a senior designer or creative director? Like,
Yeah.
how does that look?
So right now, I'm just pulling back the curtain, and I'm pretty transparent about what we're working on. Right now, the baton is not, it's not necessarily that we need to pass the baton, we need to expand the baton, right? So multiple runners with, outward facing work that they're doing to make connections in the industries that we're focused on. So one, we have hired a BD specialist last year full time who does a lot of behind the scenes work to basically take my persona and put it out there at scale. But then also we're working on building his persona out in the marketplace so that people see him for the expert that he is. And then doing the same with each person in our team. So even some of our creatives or our digital marketing director saying, hey, like, you have a lane that you have expertise in. Let's make sure people know that you have that expertise specifically in the industries that we work in. And for us, that's primarily in the accounting industry. That's where a lot of our clients are. And so we do a lot of work to build personas and then actually get those people connecting in the right spaces with peers on the other side. So when we're working with, a pretty large company, some of our clients range up in like the 100 to $200 million a year in revenue. They
Hmm.
often have a whole team that we're connecting with. So if I'm connecting at the C level, maybe my business partner Sam, who is connecting like at the director level. And then our BD specialist is connecting at the coordinator level, and our director of digital marketing is connecting with their digital marketing leader. And so a lot of it is how do we each are a part of that outreach and sales process in the right roles within that. And yeah, I think, in answer to the original question, who does the baton get passed to? Right now, it's my business partner, Sam. He's been so focused on getting the work done for so many years, and he's
Hmm.
fantastic at it. But now is our opportunity to kind of grow his abilities and his just time and commitment to getting out and getting face time with potential clients. And that's what we're working on right now. So we've got lots of work, room to grow in that. And as we grow the company, we know that it's more of a team effort rather than a me effort. And that's where we're headed.
Oh, that's definitely like a golden nugget already off the bat of the conversation is that team effort thing. I mean, that's huge. And so, now looking at, okay, so you mentioned your kind of ideal client, or you're mostly in the accounting space.
Yeah, we're heavily,
Okay.
heavily in the accounting space. I'd say probably about 70% of our client revenue comes from accounting firms. Yeah.
Okay,
And that's
wonderful.
another huge lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Okay, tell me more.
So, as a service-based business, right, where again, we're serving clients, we're solving problems for them through our services. We're not a product. We're not a software company. We don't have a turnkey product, or we're not selling, a product off the shelf for them. We're selling people's expertise on our team at solving problems for them. And in this case, specifically around marketing issues and brand issues. Um, because of that, we have found, and it took us way too long to figure this out. Like I've been hearing for years and years from coaches and from consultants in the industry, if you're an agency, if you're a marketing firm, you got a niche, you got to find an industry and go all in. And I think for creatives, there's two levels of like challenge with that. One is, well, that doesn't sound fun. I like working on different kinds of businesses and different kinds of brands, right? Today I get to work on a food product brand, and tomorrow I get to work on a financial services brand, and then next week I'll work on like a sports entertainment brand. That is fun. That's really fun. And having that variety is really fun, but it doesn't make for good business. Um, because clients want to hire firms like ours who understand the problems they have and have already solved them for clients just like them.
Hmm.
And so when you walk in and you say, "Oh yeah, we've rebranded all these different companies, and yet none of them are like or in the industry that your prospective clients in." And they go, "Well, that's great, but do any of those apply to us?" But when you can say, "Hey, we've rebranded 10, 20, 30 accounting firms, and they know the work, and some of those have won awards in the industry for, some of those things. And I have data that we do a big research report on the accounting industry, around brands in the accounting industry. We have that. We showcase our expertise. And
Hmm.
that wins us lots of business. It gives us confidence when we go into conversations with clients. It gives
Hmm.
our clients confidence because again, every one of our clients is essentially selling us internally.
Yeah.
And so we're here to make them look amazing. And that means that they have to have a lot of trust in us. And that means that we have to be experts at their kind of business. So we are niched into professional services. So we primarily work with accounting firms, law firms, engineering firms. We do have a couple other industries that we're in a little bit, like financial services, some tech platforms that are B2B focused. But we don't do any retail. We don't do any consumer facing product work. It's all professional services, B2B companies.
That makes a lot of sense. Thinking back even on my own graphic design career and just to have be an expert in a niche. That
Yep.
that is a golden nugget. I think other types of businesses can learn something from this too. Anybody in like that professional services, you
Yep.
can niche to
Yeah.
serve a certain other B2B.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, even products, right? So you think about products or consumer facing services, and the niching looks different. Maybe you niche based on a particular geographic region, or you niche around a particular way that you deliver your service,
Mm-hmm.
Or you niche around like, hey, we only work with certain individuals above a certain income or below a certain income,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because their problems are different and they're differentiated enough that you go, hey, the way that someone who has, makes 60,000 a year in revenue and has a home is very different. Like if I'm selling home services, that's a very different type of customer than someone who's making $1 million a year and has home service needs, right? Their home is just very different too, probably. So
Mm-hmm.
when you can identify like who is it that we are like best suited to serve with our services or with our product, and then you just go all in on that. And it doesn't mean that you say no to everyone else that might pop up. I like to think of it as like a target. And what do you aim for on a target in order to hit the target? Like if you're into dart throwing or, if you're, you know, bow and arrow type person. Well, you don't aim for the target, you aim for the bullseye in the middle. And
Mm-hmm.
so the bullseye, that's like your absolute ideal customer, right? They fit every last piece of what you are best suited to serve with your product or your service. But that doesn't mean that like you're not going to sometimes be out at the edges or somewhere in between. And you
Mm-hmm.
can say yes. You can say, this one isn't exactly in our like bullseye, but it's close enough. I think we can serve them well, and so let's do it. Let's take them on as a client, or sell them a product as a customer. So I think there's lots of opportunity there, and it's a business. It grows. It changes over time. So we have plans. We have a couple other industries we want to get into in time, and we're starting to make some progress on that as well. And when it's right, we'll let the world know. Like these are things we do. But we need to be really careful that they all still make sense under our brand and our differentiators.
That makes a lot of sense, which actually leads me perfectly into the next question, which is, what does the future look like for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so continued growth. We've grown a lot. We grew 40% last year. I think we're planning, and we don't get a crystal ball. We don't get to know what the future has, but I get pretty close. I have some projected revenue reporting I do on an almost weekly basis, and I've got it pretty good. And I usually get it right. Um, but I think we're on track for another 40% growth this year. We'll see what that looks like beyond that. I think, I don't think that's sustainable to do 40% growth year over year over year over year into the next 5 years. But we do have plans to get into some other industries. I'm particularly excited. We already do some work in the cybersecurity and IT industry, and it's very related to a lot of accounting and advisory firms who are actually buying up cybersecurity firms. So there's a nice complementary piece to that. And we have a few clients already there. So that feels easy. And we'll probably as part of that process launch. So we have what we call the Remarka Brand Index, which is a measurement of brand differentiation across the accounting industry. About
Mhm.
1,400 accounting firms are in our report. And we're hoping to do the same thing in 2027 for the cybersecurity and IT managed service world. So that's a big project. That's a huge amount of investment for us. It's a lot of time to build that report, but I think that's I'm one that I'm really excited about, and we'll see where that goes from there. And then beyond that, we also have we've developed some intellectual property around our branding process. So we really we're a brand first agency. That's how we put ourselves out there. And we want to help companies market themselves inside out, meaning they need to know themselves first, the inside, before
Mm,
they go out and start marketing to the world, really understanding their story, what makes them special, what makes their culture unique. These are all really critical things, especially in service-based businesses like accounting and IT and cybersecurity.
mhm.
Um, and so we've got a book coming out this year all about that, Inside Out Marketing, which is a follow-up to our previous book, which is You Are Remarkable, which is all about our brand philosophy. We have a proprietary process that we take clients through, and we're looking to expand how we bring that to companies to use, particularly through courses. So we'll have some online courses in the next couple of years that'll be available for people, and really just starting to build more of an education wing to our business rather than just services, which I love. We'll continue to do that and do that really well. But want to impact as many businesses as we can. And that probably means more education and more accessible products that, you don't need to pay us agency fees to go take a course or implement a rebrand yourself in-house with our process.
Oh, that's incredible. I like that because it's like expanding your abilities too as the company, and it gives people that option. And now with that growth that you're looking for, are you looking to expand your team at all, or how
hmm
does that
Yep.
look? Okay.
Yeah, we've already
Okay.
hired quite a bit this last year.
Okay.
I don't know this year if we want to hire quite so many people. I think in fact, I have a business coach who told me 2 weeks ago, "Hey, I told you to hire a lot of people last year, and you did it. I think you should probably pause on hiring more for a little bit." And part of that's like, when you hire that many people or you grow that quickly, it can be really easy to kind of lose a sense of what you valued before,
Mm.
right? We
Hmm.
have a set of core values, we have a culture we're trying to develop. If we just keep throwing people in the mix who are brand new, I think we're going to find that we're starting to stretch our culture beyond where we want it to be and really where it's effective for our clients. So we want to be really careful. We try to hire very carefully for our culture. They need to, obviously, new talent needs to be able to solve problems that our clients have within the areas of expertise. So they need to be good at the job, but they also
Hmm.
need to really fit into our culture and understand how we work. So yeah, we've been hiring. We're now actually in 4 states with our staff. We're obviously Arizona. That's kind of our home base. We have a little headquarters here. And then we're also in New Orleans, Louisiana. We're in Tallahassee, Florida, and we're also in Ohio, generally in the Columbus area, a little outside Columbus. But yeah, so I think the next 5 years, absolutely, we're going to be hiring more people. We're definitely going to scale. Our goal is to probably double at least our staff count over the next 3 to 5 years. Probably a little bit more depending on revenue, what
Hmm.
that looks like. And I'm excited. We'll see kind of what that looks like. But I think a big challenge for us right now is how do you maintain a culture when you're not all distributed, but we have some people in an office and everyone else is distributed. And that's a hard challenge. That's one that is on my task list. That's on my, as I would say, on my bingo card this year. So
On your bingo card. That's crazy that you said that because that was actually my next question was what is the challenge you're faced with right now? So
there
that
it
makes
is. There
clear.
it
So
is.
oh, well, this has been a great conversation. I looked at the time. This half hour has flown by, so I want to take us through our rapid fire Q&A.
Yeah,
So these are very so answer very top of mind. They're meant to be like pew pew pew.
sure.
There's four of them. So we'll kick it off with what is a key to success for you?
Oh, trust my team. They're smart people. We hire really smart people. And I think as a business owner who's been doing it a long time, it's easy for me to just kind of think I've got it all figured out or I know a lot. And I know a fair amount, right? But they know a lot too. And we can trust them and we just need to let them have opportunities to grow. So that's my first answer, I guess.
Love it. Second question is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
I've already said it, but niche. If you can find a niche, go all in. Like I
Mhm.
cannot tell you like how much we struggled to get consistent revenue, lead gen, and profitability until we did that. So I'm a huge fan. But also I work in brand, so I probably should say it is for a company that does branding and positioning all day, you would think we would have figured that out years and years ago, and we didn't. So I'd say niche.
That says, I love that. Another golden nugget. Third question is, it could be a book, a podcast, an article, just any piece of content you've recently taken in that's resonated with you.
Ooh, I am working through, where is it? I have it on my desk. It's an old one. My coach actually recommended this. Dan Sullivan's How the Best Get Better.
Ooh.
Fantastic book for entrepreneurs and anyone who's in business. And I think like if you want to kind of, and it's really short. It's super short, but like every single page is just tons of great insights on as you scale all these challenges that you're going to run into as a business owner and how you need to change your mindset and your habits.
Yeah.
in order to be successful as you scale through those things. If not, you might get kind of stalled at a certain size, and we'll see. I'm, trying to implement it, so I don't have it all figured out, but it's been good.
Good. I just wrote that one down. I'm a huge like business book person, so totally wrote that down. Final question. Now, this is the one I think we touched on a little bit, but feel free to
Mhm.
like go into it a little more. If I gave you a magic wand and you could rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Um, our culture and specific, because I don't think our culture is a problem, but how we can communicate together
Hmm.
across time zones in different locations. Like when we have everybody together in one place at one time, which we do a few times a year, everyone is like, this is awesome. This is what we want all day. And we just can't do that. It's just not functional. And there's real huge benefits for us being distributed. But I think if we could figure that out and solve that problem this year, we're going to have a much better time in the next 3 to 5 years scaling. If we can figure out how to kind of recreate some of that camaraderie, some of that togetherness, and we have lots of ideas and we're working on it. But that's the magic wand. If I could wave it, that's what I would solve.
Oh, wonderful, Mike. Well, I appreciate that. This was a fun rapid fire. And now, before we get to our final question of the day, how can people connect with you and your business online?
Yeah, resoundcreative.com is our website. So definitely check us out there. If you want to check out some of the other things we're doing around education and especially our big accounting industry brand report, the Remarka Brand Index, you can go to remarkabrand.com. And then if anyone wants to connect with me, LinkedIn is the easiest way to find me. You could try searching Mike Jones, but you might find a lot of other guys.
Ooh, that's a
I
great
recommend
artist.
my handle is Remarka Mike. Uh,
Remarkable, Mike.
Remarka Mike. So that's how you can find me. If you look me up that way, you'll find me on all the platforms.
Thank you, Mike. Yes. Final question of the day. What is most inspiring to you today?
I think just my team and their desire to get better every day. They're awesome. Even like talking to my business partner today, he's like, "There's some challenges I'm working through." We were working with them through them with our coach today, and it was huge. Like just having him be willing to say, "Hey, I'm growing and we're growing, and that means there's new things I got to learn how to do better." Right now, his calendar is chock full of meetings, and he's like, "This is new for me. How do I manage this well?" And I think every one of us on the team has to be asking, "How can I do better every single day?" And that's what our team does. They are definitely asking that question. So I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. That was inspiring to me to hear, and I'm sure our audience got a lot out of this episode. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.